Hi everyone, Emma here. I'm so excited to show you this bracelet. So I'm gonna get you started on one of these of your own. These are made with these gorgeous Rondelle crystal beads that I got from Beebeecraft. So I put out the three colors just to show you. If you're not sure, you can go back and check the unboxing and you'll see these items in there. So the one I made as the sample, I left it without the clasp. We're gonna finish this at the end when we get this one started. But anyway, this is what it looks like. Let's enlarge this. So this is what it looks like on the front, and this is the back. This is herringbone stitch, and we're adding an embellishment on the front at the same time as you're doing your herringbone stitch. It's super simple, and once you get the hang of it, you are going to be addicted and you're going to search for different unusual beads or really pretty beads that you want to showcase. I love these beads. They are Imitation Jade, all of them. And let's just go through the colors. This one here is Aquamarine, and it comes on a hank like this with 10 strands, and they're only $3.50. So really affordable, and I only used one strand for this bracelet. Now this is I think 6.5 inches long right now. I am going to put a extender clasp on it so it can fit anybody's wrist size. So just to give you an idea. So that's that one there. Then there's the olive color, and this one's called medium turquoise. So I thought we'd do the medium turquoise. I will put this aside. We'll talk about the color beads and stuff like that in the class when we get to that point. So let's just put that one there so we can see what we're up to. So I'm using crystal size 6 dragon thread, but if you have Fireline 6 pound, you can use that as well. I would definitely recommend using a fused nylon bead or beading thread for it because it is structural, so you want to make sure it's sturdy. I'm going to use some check glass beads. These are 11.0, and I'm not sure of the color. Let me see if I have a similar color somewhere here. It's almost a copper color, but you can use whatever beads you have. Maybe silver might look really nice with this. So let's move this aside. Of course, I don't think we're going to need that much. I'm just going to get you started on this because it's just the same 4 lines repeated. You will need a clasp to finish it. Like I said, I'm putting a clasp that I got from Beebeecraft, and I will put the link to this one. This was not in this unboxing, but I will put the link. These are amazing, these clasps. So it has the extender chain with the little, metal pendulum at the bottom, and these gorgeous crystals. Now this is a 2-hole one. I have some from Beebeecraft that are 4 holes as well, but you can see this will fit nicely for this size bracelet. And you can make your bracelet as wide as you want. I just wanted to do a nice simple. So you will need some jump rings, small jump rings, to add your clasp to it. So I think that's everything. Just to let you know, you're going to need your scissors and you're going to need a size 12 needle. You can use a size 10. I did find it's nice to have a size 12 when you're doing herringbone. I like to, I'm just feeling this, I feel like this needle has a bit of a barb on there. Let me see if I can fix that. Just make sure that's... I had this needle in my tray, so I'm wondering if it you can see how it's hooking on my finger. That's gonna hook onto my thread, so I'm gonna switch it out with another needle here. You can see what happens. You know what? I'm gonna use a new needle, size 12. Definitely a good idea to have some good needles on hand. So let's take this one off. I should have known. It was too simple. The first one I grabbed and that was it. So take a wingspan of your thread that you're going to use and flatten the end a bit so it'll go through the eye. Get it in there. Fold over your thread and we'll get started. So you're going to start with your normal herringbone stitch, which is really a brick stitch. So I'll just go through it again with you. I know there's a lot of new people, so pick up 4 beads at the beginning, and we can tilt this now so you can see what I'm doing. So grab 4. You're going to bring it down. I would leave a bit of thread at the end so you can hang on to, and you can also add your clasp with that, but I'm going to shorten that because I don't think I'm just going to do a sample for you. So go back around and go through your first 2 beads. Pull that down like that. So they make a nice little cube like that, and I'm going to enlarge this. So go back down through those 2 open beads like that. And if it gets split up like that, you can see it's coming to just bring this thread towards the other thread and it will take care of that. So now we're going to add 2 more beads. We're going to go, coming out of this bottom here, we're going to go through the top. I feel like we need to adjust this and bring this down there, like that. So now you're coming out of this row here, you're going to go up through this one, and I'm going to check that that's in focus. I never know, my vision's not the greatest. There we go, it's in focus. Okay, so now we have 3 sets of 2 beads there. Now if you remember with herringbone, you're always going to do 2 rows of each. Oh, and I should mention, we are going to start with 1, 2, 3 rows. So we need 2, 4, 6 beads. So we have 3 rows so far. We're going to pick up 2, pick up 2. That, and we're going to go up through these 2. I must have had 3 beads on there. Sometimes you accidentally pick up an extra bead. I'm just going to cheat and do this. Watch what happens. It pops off. Okay, so I'm coming into this one here. I'm going to go down through here. And now we have 2 rows of 2. So there's 2 and 2. We need 1 more set. So we're going to do this 2 more times. 2 beads, threads coming out of here. We're going to go through the top. That, then we're going to go up through the bottom, both those beads. Make that tight, like that. And 1 more time. 1, 2 beads coming out of the top. We're going to go through the bottom, like that. So in case you're wondering, this is a Beebeecraft collaboration. So you can get all the links, will be in the description. You can click on them, it'll take you right to their site. And You can use the coupon code Emma10 to get 10% off your order, and anything $25 or more is free shipping. So super cool. Okay, so now we're gonna go. I'm trying to think. Yeah, let's do one more row. 2 more rows, I think. I like to think about this. Nah, two more rows. So normally with herringbone, our thread's coming out here. We're going to come back up through this bead here, but we don't want to see our thread on the side. So this is just a quick way to do that, is go to the bead next to it, go up through the bottom like that, then bring your thread over to the edge and bring it up through that second one, and there you go. So now you have your beginning of your herringbone. So first row of herringbone. I feel like this is the first rule of Fight Club is don't talk about Fight Club. So first rule of herringbone is don't talk about herringbone. So you got 2 beads on there. You're going to go down this, so your thread's coming out of here. You're going to go down just this 1 bead like that. And when we get started, it's later on we can actually go down 1, up another. So now you're going to go to the next bead and you're going to go from the bottom up like that. Pull that through. Grab 2 beads. You're going to go to the next one. So your thread's coming out of here. You're going to go to the next bead. And I'm just kind of holding it so that I can get my fingers through. And then go, your thread's coming out of the bottom of this bead. You want to go through the bottom of this one here. Just tighten that like that. Pick up 2 beads. 2 beads. Coming out of this one here, we're going to go down through this one here. Okay. So to make things a little simpler for you, I feel like this light is not doing its job here. This will be row number 1. We're going to add on these beads. That's going to be your row number 2, which will bring your thread over here. Then you can easily go up through this one here. This will be row number 2. Then when we get on this side, we're going to go through these beads again, which will bring us back to this side. We're going to add a row, and we're going to repeat those rows throughout. So I'll show you, so don't worry, but I just like to clarify that because when I was doing this design, I kept getting confused and adding too many rows of herringbone. Now, if you add a bunch of rows of herringbone, don't worry, you can always add your beads where they need to be. Just weave your thread up through the herringbone beads. So we're going to pick up 1. These are, I don't know if I mentioned it, they're 3 by 2 millimeters. They're super small. They're so lovely. So pick up an 11/0, another of the crystal beads, an 11/0, and another crystal bead. And I should say too, these beads are relatively uniform, which is really nice. I think in that one row that I did, I only had to throw out 3 beads. They were like super tiny and misshapen and stuff. But so this is what you're going to put on there. So your thread is coming out of here. So we are going to go across and through this bead here. So always remember to take your thread over so that your needle doesn't cross through. And there's your first row. So you can see it's kind of hard to hang on to, not a big you'll eventually get it, and that's why you want to hang on to that thread. So now we're going to do our row of herringbone. So this is row number 1, row number 2. We're going to be on this side. We're going to go through these. That'll be row number 3, and then row number 4 is another herringbone, and set up for the adding of the beads. So pick up 2. That bead looks weird. You're probably like, how did you see that? I have special eyes that only see beads. So you're coming out of here. And don't worry if this is loose. As we add this one on, we will tighten it. So I'm going down through this bead. So the thread's coming out of here. I'm going down through this one. And you can see how easy it is to pick up the next one. You're going from the bottom up on the next row of beads. And I'm just going to pull that a little bit snug. See, there, like that. Oh, this one's going to look gorgeous. I can tell. Pick up 2 beads. You're coming out of this bead. We're going to go through this one. And you can pick up the bottom of the next bead, like that. I do have some other herringbone videos, so if you're having a hard time seeing these tiny beads, I have some with 8/0 beads, so you can see them a lot easier. So you're coming out of this one. We're going to go through this one here. And we're going to, from this bead here, we're going to go through all of these. And what that does is it anchors these beads to the bottom of the bead and to the top of this one. So it really makes them secure. So you have 2 threads going through them there. So I went through all of those. Pull through like that. Now you have these 2 beads here. We're gonna go through, actually we only have to go through the one, yeah, there, through the one, like that. Okay, so now we're going to start with row 1, pick up 2 beads, go through the top of the first one and the bottom of the second one, and you can kind of get your beads to sit nice and flat. Pick up 2, go, so it's coming out of here. We're going to go through this one, we're going to pick up the bottom of the next one, and like that. Let me adjust my thread. Had it folded over for the video so you wouldn't have to see all the me pulling thread the whole time. Pick up 2 beads. You're coming out of this bead here. You're going to go through this one. I think I said this was row number 1, right? Yeah, that's right. And then, so now row number 2 is your beads. Pick up 1 crystal, 1 11/0, crystal, 11/0, and a crystal. And you can do your own design of how you want to put them on. You can put the different colors. So you're going to take those, you're going to go to the bottom of the other side of the bracelet like that, and let those get in there. Good. Now pick up 2. So now we're on row 3. So you're going to go down the next bead and up through the following one, the next row. That, and get those to sit. Pick up 2 beads, go down the next one and up through the following one. That. Pick up 2 beads, go down through this one like that, that in there, and we're going to go through the crystals. I'm just going to move that down a bit. Okay, so go through all the crystal, the seed bead, crystal, seed bead, crystal. If you can't do it in one go, just do it a couple of times there like that. That. So now, I think what I was doing in the other bracelet is going through 2 beads at the end after we pass through here, just to prevent from lifting that final bead so that it's on an angle. So I think I'll do that again. But you don't have to. Once it's on, you're not gonna, it won't look like it's sideways at all. So pick up 2, go through this hole and pick up the next one. Pick up 2, go through this hole and go through the next one. Pick up 2. So your thread's coming out of here, we're going to come out here. It's time to add 1. So you can see you get like a couple of rows, it looks like it's time to add. But if you think of the row 1, row 2, row 3, and then passing through it again as row 4, it will stop you from questioning whether it's time to add some beads. Because sometimes this looks like it's really open, where you should have a row of beads, but it's just the way the beads are sitting. So like if they're, you know, back at this row here, the first row. Okay, so we added our crystal, 11O crystal, 11O crystal, and like I said, we're going to go through, I am going to go through the 2 beads on this side. That's what I did with the other one. And the reason being, if you take your thread across, you've got 2 beads here on this side. You want this to be even on the other. So you can see how you have to do the 2. Again, you could essentially go through that, just that single bead. You might end up with some beads going off to the side a bit. And you know what? You can do that as a design as well. Okay, so we're coming out of this bead here. We've got 2 beads on. We're going to go down this bead and up through the next one. Then pick up 2. You're coming out of this one. We're going to go through this one and up through the next one. That. Let's do one more pass here. So I'll pick up 2, go through this bead. Now we're going to go through the crystals. And the 11 O's like that. Pull it in. It's looking lovely. So go through the first 2 like that. I'm going to extend this a little bit more. This is amazing. Like, I don't take a wingspan when I'm showing through videos so that you don't have to watch me pulling a bunch of thread, but it never fails. I don't have enough thread on my okay, so we just passed through a second time on these guys, so we need to add a herringbone row. So pick up 2, go through this bead and this bead, and just get them to sit flat. Pick up 2 beads, and go through this next bead and up through the bottom of the next row. Oh, I must have 3 beads on there. Let's see if we can get through this without creating a knot. Yeah, I've got 3. So let's go like that, and that will pop off there. Oh, I didn't pass through the other bead. So much for taking a shortcut, eh? Like that. I do have some 8mm beads, some really cool colors. So we're going to do some herringbone with that. It's so much fun. It's so fast. Okay, so go through this bead with your 2 beads on there. Now we're ready to add a row of crystal. 11-0. Oh. And a crystal. Like that. You could essentially do a 11-0 along here too. That would probably look cool. Let's try it, see what happens. Usually by the time I do my videos, I have all these other examples worked out. Okay, so we're going to go to the other side, down 2 beads, so that we keep this straight. So we need to go through these 2 here. Let's see what this looks like. So it is too much. You can see how it's raised up. But again, if you want a look, and it would avoid you seeing that, you could put 50 no's there as well. So there is an example. So I think this will be it for this, showing you how to do that. You're just going to continue this all the way to the length that you want, and then we're going to put a clasp on here on this one. So this one I'm going to show you how to finish it off, because you can see these are separated, so we need to finish those off. But I thought we'd do it with an example of the full thing. It's another way of cementing what we've done. Let's just move these so they don't get mixed in. We might need a few of those. Okay. So at this point, we're going to add a herringbone. So we're at the 1 row position here. So we're going to take 2 beads. And these beads, let me tell you what color they are. They're super beautiful. You know what? I think this is the wrong name for this. It's called dark gold. These are more like a champagne gold. Let me see if this one says light gold on it. They're slightly different colors, but you can see this one's a light gold. Oh, that's interesting. I wrote, sometimes can pass as light silver. Who wrote that on my beads? The nerve of them. Okay, so pick up 2. Your thread's coming out here. We're going to go down through this one and up through the next one in the next row. Like that. And set those down. Pick up 2 11-0s. Your thread's coming out of this one. We're going to go through the very next one, and we're going to poke our needle through the bottom of the next one. Just get those sitting side by side. Pick up 2, go down through this one alone. And flip those guys. Now we're going to pick up a crystal, 11-0, a crystal, 11-0, and a crystal. So that's what you have. we're going to go to the other side. I'm going to go down 2 beads and we're going to poke our needle through those 2 beads straight up like that, and pull, and you get your beads there. So now we're working on row 3 now. This is row 2. Row 3, we're going to add another row of herringbone. So you go down this bead and up through the next one like that. Pick up 2. Pick up 2. The beads aren't behaving. Go down this one and up this one. Big announcement. I didn't renovate. I reorganized my office. So I'll be doing an office tour. You know, I do that every once in a while, and I reorganize the beads thinking that if they're organized, it won't seem like there's that much there. It ends up there's more. Okay, take your thread and go through. So this is row number 3 is actually going through your crystal, your seed beads, everything. And pull through. Go down 2 beads and bring your needle up through those 2 beads. Like that. And that is the end. But you can see the gaps, so we're going to close those gaps. So to do that, it's the same process, you just don't add any beads. So normally we'd add 2 beads and go down. We're going to go down this one and come up this one. And that's going to create a thread bridge there, right there. Go down this one and up through the next one. And you can do that a couple of times, especially since we're going to add jump rings here. So I'm going to go, I think I'll go through 2 here, like this. And I might go through the crystals again, like that. And then I will do it again. So 2 beads, like that. And then over. And the only reason I'm doing this is because we're going to have jump rings attached to those threads. So you could actually, when I'm attaching something, I usually pass my thread 3 times. So if I'm adding a clasp, I do that. So probably a good idea to do that. Yeah, I think I'm going to go through that. The crystals, the holes are pretty big, so it's not a big deal. Oops. Like that. Okay. Down 2 beads, up one, those 2. And you can see it's starting to get nice and firm, so we'll go down the one, up the next one. Down the one and up the next one. Now I'm going to go down 4 beads like that, and I'm going to tie a knot. So you need to pick up a thread bridge here. So I try and pick up a thread bridge that doesn't involve these beads here, but it doesn't matter if you do. Take your thread, wrap it around twice, bring it right down to where you're working, and put your thumb there, pull your thread through tight, like that. And you can't even see that knot, it's so tiny. I'm going to go down 3 more and do the same thing again, like that. And when I go through this time, I'm going to pull a bit, and you can see it's tugging it. And what that does is it tightens the knot and it hides it in those beads. So let's grab a thread bridge. So around once, around twice, put your thumb over it, pull through. So you can use this same tying off technique for when you have to add thread. So say this was it for my thread and I needed to add another piece, I would go ahead and do this. Now, I do tend to do like when I change my thread, I will leave 2 beads in the next row on there so that I know where I added so I don't get mixed up. But maybe you're a lot better at this than I am. You'll remember where you went with your thread or the last row or whatever. Anyway, so then you would take your next thread and basically do the same. Now you have to remember these rows go up and down and weave. So when you're adding thread, say I finished this row, my next thread would come around either going through this as my third row or adding a new row of beads. So you got to remember if you're going to add thread that you have to come out of the right bead is what I'm getting at. If you need some discussion about that and a demonstration with bigger beads, let me know. I will definitely do that. I hate to leave you hanging when it comes to adding thread and stuff like that, but I definitely will do a video on that if you need it. So this one here, let me see. Looks like there's just one thread, yeah. So I'm going to weave this back in and then tie it off. And we'll add the clasp. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and thank you to Beebeecraft for sending me these goodies. I want to put something out there for you. If you have items that you're interested in Beebeecraft, if you could let me know either in the comments or through an email to give me some ideas for doing stuff, because I think I've been doing this for more than a year, so I want to make sure that I'm. It's not that I'm running out of ideas or anything. I always have lots, so I'm just closing this off and adding that extra thread. Because this is like a brick stitch, it's harder. They sit flatter next to each other. So unlike herringbone where you can pick up the next bead, so that's why I'm going up and down. So we need to go up this one. But yeah, so if you see something, let me know. Okay, I am gonna go down here, a few beads, and tie this off. So grab thread bridge. Wow, there's a thread there, but you can hardly tell. 1, 2. I'm gonna go down a few more and add another. I don't know that did much there. Pull this out a bit. So yeah, don't forget to use the coupon code Emma10. I always forget. I get like distracted when I'm putting stuff in my cart, and then I'm excited. I'm like, woohoo! Oh no, I forgot to put the coupon code. So don't forget. Just go through this one, and that'll be it. Cut this one off. So this is what you have. Let me enlarge this a bit. Ta-da. Like that. So this one, like I said, is 6.5. I have a really small wrist, so this way this will fit anybody. And this is what actually these colors look amazing. I will finish this one off and show you. And if you have any suggestions about doing different stuff, like I mentioned about maybe the 15 O's here, just let me know. Okay, so let's add the clasp. I've got 4mm 18 gauge jump rings. I like to use the 18 gauge. They feel more like jewelry than the tiny 20 and 24 gauge ones. So I'm going to take this one here and just hook it into those two beads. Now make sure you have your crystals facing the same way these crystals. So let's do this. Now when you're putting your jump ring on, a good way to get this so that there's no little gap there is to wiggle them back and forth while you're pushing together till they're snug. That way it won't come off on your line. So let's get the next one. And always twist them. So this one is going to go between the first two beads and the next two beads. So let's get that in there like that. And hook that on. Like that. And there. Perfect. Oh, this is lovely. Look at that. You can, if you don't have these type of jump rings, you could sew this into the beadwork and even hide those loops under the beads. So let me unhook this one to do the other side. Okay. Pick this up. It's going to go between the second and the third bead here. I think that's wishful thinking. The thread bridge is pretty tight. There we go. So the crystals are going to face them down towards that. And it's snug here. The 18 gauges are a little bit stronger, so they're a little bit tight to work with, but they're so lovely. Okay, so let's go to the next one. I love this color of Imitation Jade. It reminds me of like old-fashioned jewelry. And this is a really nice kind of summery, beachy color as well. Now I'll get these guys in here. Yeah, I really made these tight. So you might want to be a little looser on your beginning here. Oh yeah, those are tight, tight, tight. There we go. Get that one in there. It's kind of hard. I'm having a hard time seeing it, so it must be hard for y'all. There. Oh, that's lovely. So that's that side. And that side. And this is this lovely bracelet. How awesome is that? So you can see this is going to be amazing. Here, let's, I don't know if I can put it on. Get this hand on here. So for me, this bracelet is, if I put, I did make it slightly bigger than my wrist. So I have really tiny wrists, but there you go. That's what the back would look like. And this is the front. Is that nice or what? Ta-da! Thank you so much for joining me, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye.